Capitalist again. I'm your host, DJ Flores, and as always, with me, my trusted coach and advisor, Coach Stacy. What's up, Coach?
Just everything, man. It's been a great few days getting back in the groove, being back home. So I'm still struggling a little bit with the time zone change, if I'm
Oh,
going to be
really?
totally honest.
No
But
kidding.
but all's good, man. How about you?
Well, you. What was the difference? What ended up being the difference? It was basically daytime or morning here when it was night for you, right?
Yeah, it was
You-
7 hours, and a couple of days before going on that trip, it was California. I was in California and did the red eye back from there, so it was like a 10 hour time shift in a short period of time. It's tough on an older body.
well, that's okay. Well, I'm glad you're back. We see you have the trusted good setup in the home base there. So again, excited to have our next guest, Felipe Martinez. He has been with Estrella Insurance, and we'll let you give his background. But they're partnered with us here at Loyalty Brands, another one of our brands, and just amazing opportunity for people who are looking into franchising, especially if you have any kind of an insurance background. Great to, and he's going to give you a lot of where it started, where they're going, and we're just excited to be part of it. So can't wait to have him on. Gonna bring him out here in a second, Coach. Anything before we get it going?
No, man, I love it when we have these great business people on. We're going to get some good pieces of advice for those of you that are possibly looking for a change of direction. For any of you that have that entrepreneurial fire starting to flicker, we're going to fan the flame. So it's going to be fun.
Yes, let's get it started.
You get one heartbeat song. Take it seriously. This is your miss. Don't forget to dream and taste the colors in the air you breathe. It's your masterpiece. Go ahead and feel it all. Don't stop till it is beautiful. Don't stop till it is beautiful. Don't stop till it is beautiful.
All right. Well, again, so we are back, everybody, and with us now is Felipe Martinez. What's up, Felipe? How's it going? How's
Hey
everything going?
guys,
Thank you
very
for
happy.
joining us today.
No worries, very happy to be here, and thank you both for having us on the show. Love the intro, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. We're probably we get little messages from YouTube. YouTube doesn't like it that much. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But listen, if you don't push the status quo a little bit and you're a John, you're just not doing the right thing. So you got to push it a little bit. But yes. So thank you for that. Yeah, we probably are breaking the rules, right, Stacey?
We're pushing the envelope. Let's just keep it there.
Okay, yeah, pushing the envelope. I like that. So, again, thank you, and thank you for joining us, Felipe. So, give us a little background. So, give us background on where your journey started with Estrella, a little bit of background on Estrella, how it all began, and just let's start there, and then we'll dive more into that. I'm sure
Sure,
Coach looks like he has some questions too. So, I know he did his research.
sure. Well, again, my name is Felipe Martinez, and I'm the Director of Franchise Development here at Estrella. I've been with the organization for about 5 years. I have an extensive sales and business development background, marketing also in college, but I came into the franchising world about 5 years ago from selling previously to that, selling all sorts of different intangible goods and physical goods, construction projects, so many things. But I came into the franchising world, has just been amazing. Really helping people transition to business ownership, helping them come out of the corporate world, or maybe having been an employee in a certain industry and really seeing them flourish as business owners is been incredibly rewarding. So I love the business. I love the franchising business. I love teaching folks about it, and clearing up misconceptions, right? A lot of people have sometimes misconceptions about franchising. So I've been with the company about 5 years. Estrella Insurance as a whole, we've been around for over 43 years. We started as a corporate concept in 1980, grew corporate units, about 40 of them throughout 27 years. Realized we had the formula down of how to grow the business, how to staff it, how to market it. So we started franchising in 2008, and we never looked back. We're now 200 units here at Estrella. We are dedicated completely to the franchising model. That is all we do. And I lead the development part of the industry, making sure that investors are a good match for us, and we're a good match for them. And now I'm happy to share the news with you guys that we're part of a much larger organization now called Confi, which is the largest personal lines insurance brokerage in the US. So now we have a presence in 23 states, nearly 1,000 retail locations throughout the country. So a lot of opportunity in
Yes.
existing markets and a lot of opportunities in emerging ones. But just to give you guys a little background on me and a little bit more on Estrella Insurance.
Oh man, Coach, you got something.
Yeah, so you came from outside of franchising into franchising. How has that transition been, and what have you learned as just about franchising, maybe in general?
Sure. Well, I think there was a lot of sales aspect that it was familiar, but what really came to fruition here is really the relationship that you have to develop with individuals. The franchising is not like you're selling a particular product. You're really creating a relationship with these individuals because they have to come on board, but they have to succeed. You really have to show them the ropes, and really that relationship aspect of it is probably has been the most rewarding thing I've learned through franchising, and to really understand people and their particular personalities and how their strengths and their weaknesses can come into a system like franchising, and helping people maneuver that aspect to find them success for themselves.
Awesome, yeah, and tell me a little bit about why insurance. What makes that a good opportunity?
Well, I'm pretty sure the three of us on this call probably pay and have several types of policies out there, right? Whether it's for our cars, whether it's for our businesses, whether it's for our homes. So it's a product that, in a lot of cases, in most states, people need to have by law, right? And how many businesses can truly say that what you offer is something that people need to have by law, right? So I think the mandatory nature of our business makes it a good opportunity in and of itself. Insurance is one of those things that people sometimes feel like they need experience in order to really grow in this business, and the reality is that you don't. The way that we have structured our systems here at Estrella, we look for people that are good at sales, that have a great attitude, and that want to follow a system. You don't need any previous insurance experience. That's often a misconception that folks relate to the insurance. But operating an agency, again, it's mandatory products. You don't need any inventory. You don't need any equipment. So when we compare this business to restaurants or different types of industries, I mean, the margins are just very, very different, and you have opportunities to operate as owner operators. You have opportunities to start with a low amount of staff. So, it's not like some businesses where you need a staff of 10 or 15 to operate, you know.
Yeah.
So it's a very broad market, very broad market, a lot of competition, but over 40 years, we've really fine-tuned the system to help people capture market share from the moment we open the doors.
Awesome. And what lines of business do you carry?
A lot, Stacy, but we focus on the mandatory ones. So automobile, home insurance, commercial insurance for all sorts of businesses, workman compensation, liability. We do flood. We do recreational vehicles. We can do homeowners associations, private and commercial vehicles, health insurance. When we open up an agency, we want to be a one-stop shop.
Nice.
That is the key for us.
Okay, so it really is, yeah, it really could be a one-stop shop. I love that. Oh my goodness. So I got to throw this back up. So we have a good afternoon from Brazil. Is that right? Oh my goodness. So good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today. So um that's amazing. I love you talked on one thing about, well, actually I'll get into one of these questions that we kind of talked about. Uh, Getting into the franchising more. So what advantages would you say Estrella Insurance as a franchise system provides as far as branding and marketing? So how big is that, and how crucial can that be? And what is that a difference maker?
It is a crucial part of the business. The most crucial part in our business, we do a lot of advertising, DJ, in the metropolitan areas where we are in. So it's very common for people to see our billboards, or they might see buses in the markets that we are in. And sometimes folks think that is the key to success, and it's not. And this is a very personal business, where we deal with the customer in person, on the phone, on the internet, and it's that relationship with that customer and the trust that you build with them that generates what is really the gold in our business, which is referrals. So even though we spend millions on advertising and marketing, nothing beats referrals. After 40 years, that human contact and the bond that you build with them is the most important thing. But marketing is very important as well, because marketing creates an image in the customer's mind about who we are and the benefits that we provide to them. So it's important for us when customers see our ads in different formats and they see that agency in their local community, in their local shopping center, because that shows them that we're not just a voice on the phone, right? We're there in their community to assist them. So that marketing is important for the brand recognition and equity. But we actually are a little bit unique because we use it to funnel business right to our franchisees. So we have powerful campaigns. For example, our phone number is 1-800 car insurance. And when consumers call or quote online, we actually funnel them right to the agencies to help supplement the business, right? So I think it's a very important part of the business, and it's a very important part when individuals look at franchise organizations, to see, one, what is the franchisor doing on their end, and then what is the franchisee doing on the local end? Because the key
Mm,
here is to combine both efforts. You can't be lopsided. For marketing to truly be effective, I think this is, both pieces of the relationship have to make an effort, the franchisor and the franchisee.
I agree.
Yeah, I
Agree.
like that you keep going to relationships, because franchisor to
Yes.
franchisee and franchisee to the customer. My father, when I was growing up, he led a successful insurance agency, and he used to always say, "I can tell when a new agent's going to struggle because they're spending too much of their time in the office. They're not out building those relationships." And that was back, before we had other methods of building relationships like LinkedIn and other things that we have today. So it was all boot leather type of networking that they had to do back then. But the relationships are so important. And so along those lines, what type of resources or training or things would you give someone that was coming in to help them make the most of building those local relationships?
Mm,
Sure. So we don't require any insurance experience, Stacy. I mean, for us, to me, the most important thing is a good attitude. People that tend to or have experience in sales make a very good transition into this business. You know, those two things are probably the most important things for us. Not necessarily insurance experience, but we've designed it to teach somebody the business from the ground up. So we start with corporate training, where they learn the theory of the business with us, from the different lines of insurance to actually managing the business. I mean, a lot of our franchisees have never owned a business in the past, and
Mhm.
we're ready to teach them all of that, from the accounting, the marketing, the employment structure, the growth pattern that the agency needs to follow. Again, everything from the ground up. They do first corporate training with us, learning that theory, and then we want them to apply it. And what we do is we send our new owners to one of our established agencies to train there for a period of time. So, we send them out there to an agency that's got a few years in the books, that's got a good deal of movement, and they're really able to shadow that owner and learn everything that goes on in the day to day, from the sales process to reporting to accounting. We feel that that training is the most essential part of the franchise, and for us to make people successful, we spend a lot of time on that. You know, people need to look at that very well, right? Because that's what's going to make it or break it in a business. If a franchisor is going to give you a very short amount of training, how successful are you really going to be in that industry, right? If you don't truly learn it. So that's a big showpiece for us, is the way that we prepare the owners. Nobody opens unless they're ready. They need to be fully ready for their sake, for the sake of the business, the brand, everything, right? We all need to be on the same page.
Awesome.
love
Love
that.
hands-on training.
Yes, Coach. I was gonna say, Coach, that's right up your alley. What he said right
Oh
there.
yeah. Yeah, that was really good.
I love. I want to go back to relationship because you did mention that, and I had a feeling you were, and that's why I asked that question because again, you are in a insurance. I mean, we know there's a lot of big names, um, and so the bigger doesn't really necessarily mean. And what you talked about is the franchise opportunity and how it's a team and relationship. And Stacy, I love that you went right back to that because he said it with the franchise to them and the franchisee building the relationship and finding the right person and the right thing. It's not just selling a franchise or just plugging somebody in. Here's a good opportunity. You're not the right fit, but we're just going to give you this. It's not that. You guys are doing that, and you want that relationship on the franchisee, and then it's bleeding through even to the customer, where it's relationship. Because again, with insurance, and Stacy, I love that. I didn't know that about your dad, so let's talk about that a little bit. Uh, Insurance, taxes, it's community. It's all about community. It's about you got to be with the community. So what other things do you guys do? Like Stacy said, is there any special things or any things that really I guess are highlights that you do to really get there out in the community? You get the
Well,
name
we do local marketing campaigns as well. So there's things that we do regionally for the benefit of all franchisees. But during training, gee, DJ, we must go over 40 different local marketing strategies. I would be thrilled if everybody just did 10 of those.
out?
But the insurance business, the way that we build the customer base, I mean, it's obviously through the relationships, the right location in the right area, the right demographics. It's very important. We put a lot of weight into that, and we actually help our franchisees really study their market because we know that location is very important. The marketing that we do helps them, and then the marketing that they do. I mean, there are so many campaigns that our franchisees do because when you think about insurance, everybody needs it. So we have franchisees that create relationships with auto dealerships, with tax preparers, with real estate brokers, with auto shows, boat shows. I mean, there is an enormous amount of avenues that can be tapped into for referrals, right? And the most successful franchisees establish those relationships because it's just going to build on top of that great location, on top of the efforts that we do, on top of the efforts that they do with their customers. And they sell one policy, you treat that customer great, and you get two referrals. You throw in a testimonial on top of that. Then you put in the marketing that we do, the efforts that they do, and now you're growing a business from many different avenues. And the key here is long-term growth. Building an agency, I like to say, is a legacy business. You build a book of business in a community. I mean, we have agencies that have been around for 30 years and are still notching annual increases. And you're not just limited to that local market, right? But it's all of these pieces coming together that is the key.
And some of the things Estrella promotes is the fact that you are at times serving some underserved communities and really helping customers that need the help. Can you talk a little bit to that?
Sure, we deal with a lot of customers and a lot of different demographics, but I would tell you guys that the blue collar working class population, that is the bread and butter, and we specialize in helping these folks find the best option. A lot of times, sadly, in this business, people see the customer as just a money sign, and they don't spend the time to educate them to understand their needs, the needs of their family, depending on their assets and their portfolio, right? So we focus on our franchisees educating that customer, and what we do is we sit with the customer, or we do it online, and we compare them several options. So some agencies can only offer one insurance carrier. So that limits them a bit, and it limits the options for the customer, right? Because that company might not be the right fit for them. So we can tap into a network of many carriers to find the right one for them. Because in this business, every insurance company focuses on a specific person: high income, middle income, uh, bad credit, DUIs. There's so many segments. But by having a portfolio, we make sure that the client, we match them with the right company for them, and help them get the best price. Because let's face it, insurance is not getting any cheaper. It remains mandatory, um, but a lot of these metro markets see increased populations, and all these things drive risk up, and it therefore drives insurance prices up. So they really need that guidance of a good local agent.
If someone's thinking about this and they're looking at the opportunity, we've talked about there's a lower cost of entry, the equipment needs are low, and that sort of thing. Do most people start off solo, or do they bring in a couple of agents around them pretty fast?
We have a lot of folks that start as owner operators, and then after a couple months, as the volume increases, they are able to add staff. Or we have individuals that start with employees right off the bat, maybe a part timer, maybe a full timer. Or I have people that start, like for example, spouses, where they might both start in the business together. So the good thing about this, it can be molded depending on the individual, the resources, and the capital that they have at hand. There's a few different ways to get the business off the ground. Yeah.
That was a great question, Stacy. I love that you mentioned a few times attitude. So one of John Hewitt's favorite things: hire it for attitude. You can train skill. Go into the benefit of doing that, because clearly you've mentioned it a few times. That's the same direction that you go. What I mean, I know. I think that's one of the reasons I'm here. But it's good attitude. You got to have a good attitude, and the only things we can control in life. We talk about how insurance is needed. Well, the only things we can control in life are our effort and our attitude. So I love that you talk about how crucial attitude is. When finding, I guess, what makes a really good potential, owner operator or franchisee for Estrella Insurance?
Well, somebody that wants to sit down in this driver's seat and follow the proven system. The way that I see our business is, we've developed a car that can go 100 miles an hour. And we want folks that are willing to sit down in that driver's seat and push the pedal all the way, and learn. We're going to teach them the road. We're going to teach them which way to turn. What we want is their attitude and their belief in the brand, and their belief in what they're going to offer is going to be the best product in the market where they are. And that's what we're here to really teach them how to do. So that attitude, to me, is the most important thing, DJ. I could give you stories of successful franchisees that come from outside of the insurance business.
Yeah.
Having insurance experience is good, but it can also sometimes be a detriment. When people have learned the business in different ways, it can be hard to adjust, right? Rather than start with a blank canvas. So that is important. I think people need to look at if franchising is also going to be the right fit for them, right? Because franchising can be a great model, but not every entrepreneur is the right fit for franchising, right?
Agree.
That's important, both from the franchisor needing to understand that an individual might not be the right fit and they might need to walk away, and also an individual, right? They might need to realize that maybe franchising is not for them. I think that's very important, because you can talk about all the bells and whistles and the systems, but they only work if you follow them. Be part of them, right? So that attitude, yeah, is by far to me the most important thing. Social individuals as well. This is really is a people business, and folks that enjoy that aspect tend to succeed here. And then obviously capital, right? People need to be properly capitalized to get the business off the ground, take it through a break even period, and beyond, right? Those are a few of the things that we look for, and just overall having a good connection. You know, when you're going to go into franchising, you're getting into a marriage, right? And it can
Yes.
be very prosperous and marriage. You can have children. That's what I call multi-unit franchisees. Eventually, three, they have four, but you got to have a good marriage for that to happen, right?
Mm. I love that you tied children. That is the great. I use it. I love that. Go ahead, Stacy. I know you got something.
So for the support that you do provide, we had talked a little bit before we jumped on the show about an AR opportunity. Can you talk a little bit about what that looks like?
Sure, Stacy. So depending on the investor, the capital, their ambition, there's a lot of opportunities here from individuals that start with one franchise or they sign agreements to develop multiple locations and really take over a market. Or we have an AR opportunity, which is also a great opportunity for somebody that is looking, well, really to develop a territory and to help a brand expand. When somebody becomes an area representative, they purchase a given market, right? The way that we populate markets is population and density, and that determines if we can open 10 units or 30 units. So individuals can actually make an investment to acquire the rights to a given amount of units, and they have two functions. They help the brand grow in the market, in that community, with the right individuals that want to franchise. And then they provide support for the franchisees in their territory. We teach them on how to coach them, on how to help other individuals run their business, right? And the area representative helps develop that territory, and they help the franchisees in their area really learn and be successful. And then obviously they have a financial compensation that is tied to that, to the assistance of the franchisees in their territory. So this could be a tremendous opportunity for somebody that has a lot of connections in their community, and that is really trying to grow into something much bigger than just operating one location themselves, and it's getting other people on the path to being an entrepreneur through franchising as well.
Awesome.
So I have one last question, and then Stacey, if you have one, I know you're running up on time, so we want to be mindful of that. But
Yeah, we're
so
good for a little bit.
as far as what sets Estrella Insurance apart from the other franchises in the insurance industry, what is there one thing that you would say?
There's a few, DJ. For one, really is the training and the amount of training that we do and the way that we hold our franchisees' hands for success. I urge people to look at that closely, because when you look at systems that the training is just a few days, that always tells me, well, how much of an industry are you going to learn in a couple of days, right? So they need to look at the thoroughness of that, the way that we handle operations and the way that we have personnel in each market. And that individual is responsible for a certain amount of locations. And whether it's helping them open, whether it's helping them grow the business, that is key here and a big differentiation with us. This isn't a system where you're trained and off you go and we'll see if you make it. No, we're literally holding our franchisees by the hand. The way that we represent a large deal of insurance carriers ensures that we give them the competitive edge in their marketplace. Something that makes us even a little bit more different is that for over 30 years, we actually have owned and operated our own insurance company,
Mhm.
which is only for our agencies. That helps them compete even more. The way that we also structure our royalties and the commissions compared to a lot of national franchises, we allow the owner to retain more money in their pocket, which is the bottom line, right? One of the most important things.
Which is a good thing.
A few things, and I think the marketing is also key. The way that we do the campaigns, whether it's the billboards, whether it's the buses. I mean, a lot of these metro markets, it's very hard to find competitors that do as much marketing that we do for the franchisees. And since all we do is that, that's our only function, right? We're not here to open and operate corporate units. Everything here, from the technology, the development, the operations, the accounting, their sole focus is on franchisees.
Yes. So what would somebody need to get started? Or are we talking, because you said very little equipment, are we talking as simple as having an office and a computer and a phone and get to work, or is it that simple?
Well, there's a few ways, Stacy. The traditional method, which is still has proven to be the most beneficial in the long term, is a retail location. Retail is still very important. It still draws a lot of business and allows them to do business online as well, or on the phone. But that physical presence in the community is still the best opportunity that we feel. But we've got a few different models. We have models where individuals can also operate a franchise from, I guess I should say, like a corporate building. That could be attractive to the right individual, which the investment is lower. So there's a few different options there, right? And it all starts with really a conversation, with us here to learn a lot more about them and see what they're looking for in a franchise and what their goals are, and if we can help them get there, and then can they help the brand grow, and can they represent it well, right? We want to always be that match is key, right? But it all starts with a conversation.
And what are your hot spots right now? What are some states that are really, really hopping for you?
Boy, we're in 5 states at the moment, and all of them really we're experiencing growth. Estrella, now with our mother company, Confide, we're in 23 states. So there's a lot of options, but I would highlight markets like Florida, like North Carolina, like Texas, like Illinois as well. Those are a few really hot markets where the agencies are doing well, whether we're very established or whether we're already in a growing mode there and we've already got a foothold. So those are some good markets, but at the end of the day, we're really willing to consider any market. Again, with our mother organization, we're in 23 states. So I highlighted some strong opportunities there, but to me, a good individual and a good owner is going to be successful anywhere. So
Agreed.
I would encourage folks to reach out and we would see about their local market.
Coach, any last questions, and we'll kind of wrap it up.
Yeah, I think that was it for me. That was good stuff. I really appreciate the time and the information. This has been good.
This was amazing. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for, again, the information. If you could, Felipe, let everybody know where they can reach out and
Sure.
get a hold of you if they do want to find out more information
Sure.
about.
We can. I don't know if there's a way to leave my email here, but my email is Felipe, Felipe dot my last name Martinez, Martinez at estrellainsurance.com. They can contact me directly. They can also look at our franchising website at estrellafranchise.com, and they can look at more info there. They can also do a lead form on there if they want to learn more. We do calls. We do in-person meetings here. I know we have an individual from Brazil on the show here as well. And I'll just put it out there that we actually also help foreign investors come into the country legally with an investment visa, and they're able to bring their family. They're able to start a business here. We've had people come and franchise with us from Peru, Canada, Mexico, Argentina. We just had a gentleman approved from Australia. So we now provide franchising opportunities for qualified foreign individuals as well. So, guys, it's been a pleasure.
There's
That's
his
fantastic.
there's his email below. Book your call if you do want to find out more. Again, from Brazil. Thank you for joining us today and for finding us. Hopefully, again, anybody catching this on the replay. So Felipe, we do this. This is live on LinkedIn right now, Facebook, and YouTube. Uh, but it will stay forever in the YouTube world. So this is out there. So again, like and subscribe our YouTube channel, the Robinhood Capitalist. If you did find any of this informative, if you're looking to get in business, you just want to change your life. Again, our mission here with the Robinhood Capitalist is to help 10,000 families create their heaven on earth. And we truly believe that you can do that through the opportunities of franchising. And Estrella Insurance is definitely one of those.
Thursday morning, DJ, don't forget Thursday morning, we do the recap. So we'll be talking a little more about you on Thursday morning if you want to chat with us or take a look at that too. So we'll continue the discussion Thursday morning, 9:00 Eastern.
Yep. Yeah. And what Coach is saying, Felipe. So yeah, if anybody watching this, and Felipe yourself, if we will break down this episode and just really talk about some of the things and highlights that we touched on. Obviously, I know I'm going to go hardcore on the attitude because I think that is what everybody should hire for attitude. Forget the skill. You can teach that. I promise. Teach it and you'll teach it better. Just like Felipe said, you don't need insurance background for this. They'll teach you that. Just come with the right attitude.
The attitude is the key, right? People look at P&Ls, financial statements, and businesses can look good on paper, but you don't see the human capital, right? And that is what makes it work. That is what makes it successful. Guys, thank you for having me on here and for educating individuals on franchising and the benefits that it really can provide to families. And you have all my support on getting to those 10,000.
Well, thank you. Yes, thank you. Again, everybody, so be sure, follow us, Robinhood Capitalist. Check us out Thursday, 9 a.m. We'll be breaking this down and talking about next week's guest. Pretty excited about that too. But again, Felipe, thank you for taking the time. Obviously, we see the phones ringing. Maybe that's somebody calling for a franchise now. So we're gonna let you go do your thing. But again, thank you for your time. Thank you for all the info and for what you guys do. Because really, the right franchise system is the way that the whole Robinhood idea works. And that's really where the
right franchise system does change lives, so that's a good thing.
Yes, and that's what we're here about here at Loyalty Brands is having fun changing lives. So again, we want to help change your life. So reach out. Felipe showed you where to reach out if you're interested in Estrella or just want to find out about franchising at all. We're here to help. Again, till Thursday. Thank you all, and remember, feed the good wolf.
Thank you.
Always on the red eye. This time around, it's not even about getting paid. I'm just an addict for